Hello, now it's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Welcome to another exciting, fresh edition of your super relaxed, feel-good breakfast show. This is Wake Up Nigeria.
Oh yes, and wherever you are or whatever it is you might be engaged with, it's time to rise and get ready for a mind-blowing journey through the world of infotainment.
Yes, it is midweek already. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Sharp, sharp, like boom, 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 Wednesday. The bar has been raised even higher as we have really prepared a great show for you today, and it's ready to be served, people.
Now remember, we've never had a better yesterday on the show. It's been new every single morning because, I mean, believe it or not, nothing is too much for you, our ardent listeners and viewers.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate the fact that you let us into your homes every day.
Absolutely.
And we keep upping the ante every day, knowing that you deserve the very best. Speaking of the very best, man, if you see this...
You're about to talk about Mary?
What? Okay, yeah, well, I wasn't, but Mary tackled me on cake this morning, so let me tackle her too.
No,
she talked about the fact that there was a special cake we had yesterday, and but I think we're in the same mind space today because of the colors we're wearing.
Yeah, I feel like I finally got the memo. I always feel like somehow I don't get copied. So it's all good. I got the memo today, and hey, I'm representing.
Fantastic. Now remember not to let your guard down. Don't. By following our all the health guidelines that have been stipulated and everything as you go about your daily activities. My name is Mazino Appeal.
My name is Titilayo Oyinson. You can stream the show live on tvcentertainment.tv. You can also stream on Facebook at TVC Connect. Send in those comments as soon as you can with our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC so we can see them. And that's for all social media. And then you can also download our app, which is available for Android and iOS.
Absolutely. And to watch all our exciting episodes on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, TVC Entertainment. Also, this Friday, we have someone special joining us on Wake Up Extra. That's by 2:30 p.m. Via IG Live.
Yes, indeed. So, what do we have in store for you this morning? Let's get to the highlights.
Oh, yes. As we like to start the show with the right dosage of inspiration to get your day on the right track. Daily Vulnerables by Chude Gideonowo.
TVC. And they asked me a question about monetary policy. I said, oh, I don't know. Everybody was shocked, like, you don't know? I was like, I don't know. Like, ask me about mental health, ask me about emotional health, ask me about, you know, media planning.
And would you like to learn new ways to recycle your used plastic bottles at home? Nobody else thinks about things like this except MM. We have MM on Live Hacks. You have to stay around for what she has to share today.
And on 180 seconds, we take a trip to Zanzibar, a semi-autonomous region of Tanzania.
It is time to go to Africa in 180 seconds. Today, we're heading over to Zanzibar.
Ebenezer Miracle, a nutritionist who's passionate about healthy living, will join us on nutrition to talk on the benefits of coconut oil.
Is that indeed the best oil? That's the question.
That's what they say.
And it's World Breastfeeding Week, and we're going to join in and create more awareness on the importance of breastfeeding and the suitable lactation products with Titilayo Medonye.
And finally, we will be joined by singer and actor who is a former BB Niger housemate, Somadina Anyama, for an interesting conversation.
Okay, are you sure you had a job interview or you had a job loss interview?
That one is already on his way out.
Hello! I've missed you.
Hi, Titi, please don't hype me. I'm
No,
hungry.
let me do it.
You're hungry.
I was coming to it. I mean, I saw MM this morning. I'm like, whiplash. Wow, girl. How do you do this? How do you manage day after day
I don't know.
after
I
day?
think I'm a magician.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You look
too many.
very good today.
Too many hats.
I have a no wonder coming. But it's fine. Just a joke, just a joke. MM,
Okay,
I yield.
I
yield.
Two holes in your head now with the way she's looking
As
at you.
really, it's all
You
love.
know, guys, it's World Breastfeeding Week, and I've always been
breastfeeding?
very passionate about breastfeeding. I'm one of those who believe that a child should be breastfed for as long as the child wants, not for as long as a mother
This
wants.
is where MM and I give you this side eye and
Yeah.
How long is
Mary,
how long
I've
is
come
long enough?
again.
I don't think 7 years caps it. Yeah, it's my personal opinion. I've always believed that a child should be breastfed for a very long time.
Let me tell you something
Maybe
that
we'll talk
happened
more
to a
about
friend
it
of
during
mine.
Coffee Gist.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna let MM handle you.
Don't worry, we'll do that in Coffee
So
Gist.
you know, imagine having twins. Yeah, and literally being like this, like at least 10 times a day,
For twins, it's
holding them to your
understandable.
chest.
A friend of mine had a baby she had a baby when her baby was 3 months. He stopped breastfeeding, and she became, you know, she was agitated. She was like, "Oh my God, I can't my baby's not breastfeeding. What should I do? What should I?" I said, "Auntie, you better not kill yourself. Just revert to."
Let me just leave you guys.
Well, you have a daughter.
Exactly.
You have a daughter.
I didn't breastfeed for too long.
Most people on this set who are still
Men actually
breastfeeding.
breastfeed.
How do you mean?
Okay,
How do
so
we do
in a
this?
situation where a woman perhaps is unable to lactate, is unable to breastfeed, so men are allowed to create the simulation for the child. So
Oh,
the
okay,
child keeps sucking at the
simulation.
nipples.
Yeah.
So even for elderly women that have probably stopped having children like 30, 40 years ago,
They can simulate.
they can be gotten to bring out breast milk just by, maybe, for example, a woman, a child dies at childbirth. So she can take,
Oh yeah, she can adopt.
yeah, no, she can adopt a
Yeah.
grandchild and then breastfeed the child.
Okay.
By the time the child keeps sucking at it, milk will eventually come out.
And
You know
then
what?
I am-
Mazino is
probably
probably feeling a bit agitated.
and then I am
But it's what
also
we have to talk about.
I am also
We
happy
I'm all for
that
it, no
Lagos
problem.
State is actually working towards having a lactation donor, like a breast milk donation, where people can go and like donate
Yes.
breast milks for people, for babies, you know, who
People
lose their
make a
mothers
fortune
during
from
childbirth.
That's why I said we really talk about this so people can know that
Extensively, yeah.
when we talk about breastfeeding isn't just about
Okay,
hey,
so-
give children breast. There's a lot to it as a
Yeah.
matter of fact.
I'm trying my best to rescue Mazino here. I'm trying to rescue you, and I'm going to
I
give
think we
you
should let him
something
read
to
the
do.
news. That's
It's
the way to
about time
rescue.
for Mazino to take the news update
You look on his
so he
face.
can escape this conversation.
I love you. Thank you.
Okay.
Alrighty, so at least 50 persons have been killed and about 2,700 others are wounded after a huge blast ripped through the Lebanese capital, Beirut. The massive explosion at the port area of the city released a shockwave which caused widespread damage to buildings, shattered windows. A possible second explosion was reported to be at the Hariri residence in the city. The cause of the blast is still unknown. It comes ahead of the verdict in a trial for the killing of former Prime Minister Rafik Hariri in 2005. The latest reports come amid political tension in Lebanon, with street demonstrations against the government's handling the worst economic crisis since the 1975 to 1990 civil war. Lebanese Prime Minister Hassan Diab has declared Wednesday a day of national mourning, pledging that those responsible will be held accountable. But in its reaction, Israel says there is no reason not to believe the blast in Beirut was an accident. Meanwhile, reports say hospitals are overwhelmed with the wounded and are calling on people to donate blood. Already countries like France, United Kingdom and Iran are offering to send aid, while Saudi Arabia has offered its condolence to the nation. Now, there is a viral video, wondering if you remember that one. Well, the good news is these women have been rescued by the Nigerian mission in Lebanon and have been relocated to a more conducive apartment. They will be part of 150 trafficked girls that will be coming home in batches. Lebanese ambassador to Nigeria, Hussam Diab, disclosed the evacuation plans when the management of Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, led by the Secretary Sule Yakubu Bassi, visited the embassy in Abuja. The first batch of 110 will leave Beirut, Lebanon on August 12 to Lagos, while the second batch will be returned to Abuja on the 16th. And barely 48 hours after Air Peace sacked 69 pilots due to ravaging COVID-19 pandemic, Bistro Helicopters has followed suit by laying off more than 100 pilots and engineers on its payroll. This is as the National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, the umbrella body of pilots and engineers in the industry, insisted that the alleged sack of the protesting members would not dissuade it from going on with the strike. Pilots and engineers of Bistro Helicopters have been on strike since Monday over purported poor conditions of service and other demands. The helicopter company attributed the sack to the negative impact the coronavirus has had on its operations. West African Examinations Council has released the official timetable for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination for school candidates 2020 starting August 17 and ending September 12, 2020. A statement by WAEC's head of public affairs, Demianos Ojijiogu, warned the candidates to be wary not to use versions in circulation that did not emanate from the council. The council warned that several versions of the examination timetable have been in circulation and asks the general public to disregard them as they did not emanate from it. The council has warned the candidates to abide by the rules and regulations guiding the conduct of the examination by shunning all acts of malpractice and obeying all COVID-19 protocols that have been put in place at the examination centers. An African group of professionals called African Professionals Renaissance Network, based in Dakar, Senegal, has chosen Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State as the best performing governor in Nigeria in the fight against COVID-19. In a letter signed by the Secretary General, Geoff Bakri Korlak, the group commended the governor's effort in the fight against the global pandemic. According to them, his efforts as the governor of Kano State in the fight against COVID-19 in Nigeria is so glaring that even the Nigeria Center of Disease Control appreciated him openly for all to know and copy. APERN, as a group of multitude professionals across African countries, beamed its searchlight across some selected African countries and underwent a study on how states respond to the pandemic wave. The West African Examinations Council has released the official timetable for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination for school candidates 2020 starting August 17 and ending September 12, 2020. And the federal government, through its Ministry of Information and Culture, has today raised the fine for hate speech from 500,000 naira to 5 million naira. Minister of Information Alhaji Lai Mohammed made this known in Lagos at the official unveiling of the reviewed Broadcasting Code. Acting Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, Professor Armstrong Hidap-Chaba, says the decision to amend the Nigerian Broadcasting Code was taken to reposition the industry and to make it more responsive to emerging realities.
Provision that has raised the fine for hate speeches and divisive messages from $500,000 naira to 5 million naira. We believe that this will serve as a deterrent to those who want to use our broadcast stations to sow seed of discord. Permit me to say that Section 2H of the NBC Act actually specifically empowers the Commission to establish and disseminate a national broadcasting code and set standards with regards to the content and quality of materials for broadcasting.
We remain very committed to the laudable objectives of broadcasting in Nigeria, particularly in promoting access to information by Nigerians across social stratification. We are also committed to creating diversities of programming, and we're also interested and committed to offering opportunities for employment and wealth in the broadcast industry, and to generally advance the ideals of democracy and good governance through broadcasting in Nigeria.
And that's it on the news here, Wake Up Nigeria. Now let's move on now to Mary. What's going on?
we do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mary.
Yeah.
And are we starting with the Vanguard?
Okay, yes, go ahead. Let's start with the Vanguard this morning.
So this morning, the Wednesday, August 5th, 2020, and we're starting with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And those we named took our contracts, NDDC insists. And COVID-19, Lagos records 59 new infections as confirmed cases rise to 44,433. And UBA boosts Nigeria's oil production with $200 million facility. And Southwest governors, Tinubu's others pay tribute as Fosomi is laid to rest. And Lai Mohammed unveils reviewed broadcast code. And there's quite a number of headlines on the papers this morning. Buhari to completely rejig security system, says NSA. And Southwest lawyers fought NBA election, seek cancellation. And more of that story on page 11. And at the top of the paper here, Edo, Obaseki threatened violence, not me, says Oshomole. And a Papa traffic crisis to linger till December, says presidential tax team. And federal government moves to stem $500 million illegal gold exports, fingers Dubai middlemen. And finally on the paper, Nigeria's domestic refining capacity rises by 3.8% to 462,000 barrels per dollar, says report. And that's it on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
We also have the Guardian newspaper with us this morning, and it says here, Nigerians pay 2 trillion naira for calls and data in 6 months. Now that's heavy. COVID-19 pushes up expenditure amid poor services. Each subscriber spends 1,725 naira monthly. GSM operators see more growth. MTN claims pandemic spike data usage. Now, the story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 2. There is an infographic there of, well, comparing the months of the year and number of subscribers, as well as the amounts that these companies have earned. And it moved from about 320 billion naira to 338 billion naira in June. So you can imagine that kind of spike. We have also here more voices against Kaduna killings. Diaspora Nigerians beckon on United Nations. Sultan, others urge caution on northern-wide crime. I'll wrap it up with this. It says, panel alleges diversion of 6.2 billion naira palliatives for Niger Delta by NDDC. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
Do we have time for one more paper?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so quickly on the cover of the Daily Sun this morning, Buhari to overhaul security, and 2023 proposes use of PUM to ensure credible, cost-effective elections. And at the bottom of the paper here, we spent 523 million naira feeding pupils in Lagos, Abuja, Ogun during lockdown, says the federal government. That's quite a lot of money. And why varsities are yet to reopen, says NUC. And finally here, Yoruba leaders extol Fosomi as remains are interred in Ekiti State. More of that story you can find on pages 26 and 28 of the paper. And that's all we can take on the headlines.
That's how we wrap it up on the headlines for this hour. We'll be taking them again in the second hour in case you missed it. But for now, let's take a quick break.
Please stay with us.
All right, it's time for us to give you the Lagos traffic updates on Wake Up Nigeria. You know the roads are busy again, and of course we are here to help you manage your movement from point A to B, ensuring that you get to your intended destination in time, without hitches, and of course safe and sound. Okay, so let's get started. Take a look at Ojodu-Beja bus stop to CMS garage. I know that's an axis people are really interested in, like, what would it be like for me to go from Ojodu to CMS? So let's take a look at it. As it is, from what I can see here, it would actually take you less than 40 minutes to get to CMS garage from Beja. Sounds strange, right? But that's the reality. Remember, though, the time I give you is if you're driving, okay? It has nothing to do with those who have to board public transportation, because, you know, public transportation shaves, I was about to say shaves a year out of your life, but no, shaves like 1-2 hours out of your time in most cases. So let's take a look at what it is right now. There's there's a gridlock at Beja bus stop right now, but it won't last for long, so you can be very patient with that. Afterwards, especially when you get past the bridge, the traffic eases out and is actually a freeway through Alausa axis. In fact, it will take you all the way till you are past, all the way till you are past motorways. However, as soon as you're past motorways, you'd experience light traffic. So that's the first light traffic. When you're approaching the Ojota Bridge again, light traffic. When you're past that axis, it's mostly a freeway. So don't worry. The traffic isn't much. It's just pockets of light traffic. The only gridlock is at Beja bus stop, and it's only for a short period, okay? So you'll do fine if you're going to pass that route. So if you're about to head to the island, now is the best time to set out if you want to avoid traffic, okay? All right, so I'm sure the guys have updates for me via social media. Let's hear it.
Not many updates coming in yet. In fact, what we have here is actually from yesterday night, talking about most of yesterday night's traffic updates. That's what I have on most of the handles here. But still, if you haven't checked out the alternative routes yet, just so you know, the bridge is still partially closed. So you need to make sure you go online and find out the preferred routes for you if you're going to the island this morning.
Okay. Yeah. And yes.
Yeah. Same?
I concur.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the traffic updates are still the same.
I guess people are still sleeping.
But point to note, however, if you're coming from the Amoadofi area, it's a pity you're going to be in traffic the entire way through, all the way till the island. A couple of complaints coming from there, Mile 2 or Relay, Eco Bridge, the entire length of it. So it's not too late to hit the road already, or just stay back until 9 o'clock before you hit the road, I guess.
Yeah. Wouldn't it get worse by then?
No, it actually eases up.
After 9 o'clock?
Yeah, after 9 o'clock.
Because that's after the rush hour.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Moving on, let's take a look at another axis, talking about the Abule Egba to Mushin axis, okay? So as it is, if you decide to pass through Agege to connect for your routes, it will take you just about an hour, 10 minutes if you're driving. So an hour, 10 minutes from Agege is what you need to get. That's from Abule Egba, but passing through Agege. An hour, 10 minutes, you're good to go. However, if you decide to pass through the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, it will take you an hour, 40 minutes. So if you take the Agege route, that would be you saving 30 minutes of your time. But if you decide to pass the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, you will be spending 30 extra minutes. So here are areas to look out for. There's no traffic at Abule Egba bus stop. But as soon as you're past it a bit, you would experience pockets of light traffic, and those pockets of light traffic will take you all the way to Ile-Epo bus stop. Now, when you get to Ile-Epo bus stop, you would experience a gridlock, and that gridlock will take you through Pleasure, as a matter of fact, through Iyano Ipaja, and it then eases out, but not pockets anymore. Loads of light traffic. It's just pockets of freeway this time. But as you're approaching Dokwemu, though, there will be a gridlock. So prepare your mind. That gridlock will take you all the way through Cement, Mangoro, Ajayi Farm, Ikeja along. So you will have to pass Ikeja along before the gridlock eases out to light traffic. And there's still even going to be a bit of gridlock between National and the bridge. But the good news is that once you're past on that bridge, Ikeja, it's a freeway, really, it is. It's a freeway, and mostly so until you get to Mushin. As usual, it's just light traffic approaching Oshodi. That's from the arena access, and a bit of gridlock underneath the bridge. Besides all that, you're good to go. So the most important thing, as usual, is for you to drive carefully. Have consideration for all the road users. When you're driving, drive with the next driver in mind, okay? Because you never know what's going on in people's heads and how distracted they might be, okay? So you need to look out for yourself. I'm joining the guys in the kitchen right now. I'm sure there's gist, and I know it has something to do with milk.
Okay.
Well,
Are we having milk for breakfast?
no, maybe.
You guys just want to keep going on this one, don't you?
No, we don't.
No, we don't. Yeah,
But
okay.
we have to mention that our hearts go out to the families of
those who lost their loved
ones
ones in the Lebanon attack.
Well, it wouldn't be classified an attack.
Not yet. Not
It's
sure
an
exactly what happened.
explosion.
Okay, an explosion.
For now. But it was, of course, trending all through yesterday. The explosion was like something out of a movie.
It was horrific.
It was.
I saw like 5 videos of it.
Yeah, and then I saw a particular one that had 7 angles because of like 7 different
multiple people taking the video at the same time.
There's even one of people at a service. You know, people do a lot of live streaming right now, and then the lights went off, and this priest or cleric was standing right there, and he just still wanted to continue, and before you knew it, the roof collapsed on him. He was trying to run, but you could see debris from the roof hitting him. So no one knows whether he survived it. It's
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Watching some of the videos because, I mean, it was trending yesterday, but to protect my state of mind, I decided not to. But, I mean, it's a really sad event, and it's quite unfortunate that that particular site where the explosion happened, and ammonium nitrate had actually been stored in that site for for about 6 years now. And I'm glad that the public health minister, that's the Lebanon public health minister, is paying for treatment for the victims who, you know, were caught up in this explosion.
I'll say that's expected. I'll say that.
But on a little lighter note, not that much lighter, but a little lighter, apparently the Simpsons cartoon had already predicted this.
They predict everything.
So I'm tired of the Simpsons.
The Simpsons, there's a video, I have it right here.
I'll tell you something about the Simpsons, Futurama, and I think there's one other cartoon. The fact is that perhaps maybe there's somebody in their storyboard, someone who writes the stories that's from the future.
Yes, I'm beginning to think so.
Because they get everything. They've gotten predictions about the pandemic, Trump becoming president. Then there is this. This is the latest one.
This is the latest one. It's actually an explosion. Hopefully we can get that clip. It's on Twitter if you look at the hashtag Beirut. And then the Simpsons just seem to predict everything. They predicted that it was going to start with fireworks, and
that's it.
The explosion. Look, if you had the opportunity to, you know, go back in time and change things, would you really do it though? Are there something? What would you go back in time
there's
to
even
change?
a particular stuff. Maybe we can throw it out to our viewers. I saw something that interested me. If you could go back to 5 years old, aware of all you know now, but able to start life again from 5 years old, or continue life like this, aware of what you know now, but just progressing with life. Which one would you choose?
Progress.
Progress.
I think I would want to go back.
Really?
I actually would want to go back.
The 80s weren't exactly enjoyable.
Again.
I don't want to do the 80s anymore.
Why?
I think the early 2000s were the years, and up until now. So
Look
this
at you.
is
That's
it for
when he
me.
started making money.
You could.
It's so easy to tell.
I think we have the video for the Simpsons clip now. Look at that. The Simpsons actually predicted that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you just imagine? You know? So it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those.
There you go. It's so similar.
It is really similar.
But you know what?
It's so similar.
There are strong speculations that
Something
Israel is trending. So there are strong speculations that Israel could
have something to
do with it. And there are also strong speculations that it was an attack.
So
Even
my
Trump
question
is predicting He's saying that it is an attack. It's not something to laugh about. It's a really funny incident, and it's really sad. I mean, there's just too many sad events this year.
So my question was, you know, so I heard so many different things about Lebanon, and I sort of related them to Nigeria a little. From the news broadcast that was happening throughout yesterday, they were talking about them not having electricity, about their currency really dipping over the past 1 year, that it's almost worth next to nothing. And then you have a warehouse full of containers, and people are not aware of what is here and what is there, not monitoring,
But it's the same. It's actually the same thing all over the world. Look, you pass through certain buildings, you don't even know what's in it. People talk about abandoned buildings in Lagos. What if they aren't abandoned? What if certain sensitive materials are being kept in there?
We already had that instance. I mean, it's happened in Nigeria before, and there was the Akure one. Kind of like similar situations.
Well, our hearts once again go out to all the families. We know we have a huge Lebanese community. A lot of them watch us here on Wake Up Nigeria. Our hearts go out to all of you. We have so much more coming your way right here.
It's time for a short break. We will return with more shortly. Do stay tuned.
You know, one of the beautiful, I was on a TV interview, actually on this station, on TVC, and they asked me a question about monetary policy. I said, oh, I don't know. Everybody was shocked, like, you don't know? I was like, I don't know. Like, ask me about mental health, ask me about emotional health, ask me about, you know, media planning, ask me about public relations, ask me about storytelling consulting, ask me about, you know, coaching and training young people. But monetary policy, above my pay grade. And, you know, it was a shock for me to say it, because, I mean, I've worked in politics, I've worked in nation building, you know. But, you know, that day I learned that saying I don't know is one of the most powerful things. And I say it a lot. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. When you say I don't know, it opens a world of possibilities for you. It opens creativity, curiosity, humility. Once you say, I don't know, what you've done is that you've opened the door. Once you lie that you know when you don't know, then there's nothing to learn. Because you know. But when you say, I don't know, then you now start a process of knowing. This is so simple. It's so powerful. You know, why don't more people do it? I don't know.
A fantastic first 1 hour has just concluded, and we're about to start the next one. We have another hour and 45 minutes to go.
Yes, so if you missed the first hour, you're just right on time. Don't worry, for another exciting one. 1 hour and 45 minutes, that is, of premium family entertainment.
Thank you so much for letting us into your homes every day. Now, if you're on your way to work or just about, you know, moving out and about, we would appreciate you for being a part of what we do every single day. Just make sure you stream.
Absolutely. Make this day count by doing only what is important and productive from me to you.
It's very important to figure out the difference between just working and being productive in your work.
I find that if you want to be productive, you have to first of all set out a prioritized schedule, a to-do list. We overlook it, but it's very important. I have one, but maybe not for today. I just
we'll talk about it.
Ran out of the house.
We'll talk about it, but top on most people's to-do list is to start the day with Wake Up Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to follow all the health guidelines. That should be on your to-do list as well. To fight against this deadly virus, wash your hands, make sure you wear your face masks. My name is Lai Mohammed.
And I am Mazino Appeal. Stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
We also have a super cool app for you. It's available to download for both Android and iOS. It's free of charge and allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
And of course, to watch all our exciting episodes from YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, TVC Entertainment. And also this Friday, we have someone very special joining us on Wake Up Extra by 2:30. That's 2:30 p.m. via IG Live. So make sure you're a part of it, please.
So now something special is happening in the kitchen. Today is a very special day for one of our chefs.
Okay. This is
I
good.
know that Mary is standing by with him. Chef Nathaniel's around.
Yes, happy birthday to Chef Nathaniel.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
And you know,
Alakuba.
we honestly, that cake, though everybody's like looking at that cake, trying to gauge the situation. Like, so
Didn't you have enough yesterday?
I don't understand.
As in, come
you know
on.
what? Let's change the topic. Let's change the topic.
All right, let's. Okay, so on Live Hacks, will be showing us new ways to recycle our used plastic bottles at home. You have to stay tuned, stay around for that one because she's going to be telling us exactly how. And by the way, she looks exceptional today. Oh, you guys, just wait and see.
And then on 180 seconds, we're going to take a trip to Zanzibar, a semi-autonomous region in Tanzania.
It is time to go to Africa in 180 seconds. Today we're heading.
Ebenezer Miracle, a nutritionist who's passionate about healthy living, will join us on nutrition to talk on the benefits of coconut oil.
Is it indeed the best oil? Good question there. It's World Breastfeeding Week, and we are going to be joining in this time with more awareness on the importance of breastfeeding and the suitable lactation products with Titilayo Medunwe.
All right. And finally, we'll be joined by singer, actor Somadina Ayama. But let's get to the news now. It's time overdue. Ibrahim is standing by.
All right, welcome to the news. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, in recent days has been reporting lower figures of COVID-19 cases across the country, indicating a downward trend. The NCDC reported 304 new cases of coronavirus overnight, same as Monday's figure. The country's total number of cases now stands at 4,433. Of the new cases, the Federal Capital Territory recorded the highest figure with 90 new cases, followed by Lagos with 59. Other states with high numbers include Ondo with 39, Taraba 18, Rivers 17. So far, 31,851 people have been discharged, while 910 people have died from COVID-19 related complications. At least 50 persons have been killed and about 2,700 others are wounded after a huge blast ripped through the Lebanese capital, Beirut. That's massive explosion at the port area of the city released a shock wave which caused widespread damage to buildings, shattering windows. A possible second explosion was reported to be at the Hariri residence in the city. The cause of the blast is still unknown. It comes ahead of the verdict in a trial for the killing of former Prime Minister Rafik Hariri in 2005. The latest reports come amid political tension in Lebanon, with street demonstrations against the government's handling the worst economic crisis since the 1975 to 1990 civil war. Lebanese Prime Minister Hassan Diab has declared Wednesday a day of national mourning, pledging that those responsible will be held accountable. But in its reaction, Israel says there is no reason not to believe that the blast in Beirut was an accident. Meanwhile, reports say hospitals are overwhelmed with the wounded and are calling on people to donate blood. Already, countries like France, United Kingdom and Iran are offering to send aid, while Saudi Arabia has offered its condolences to the nation. Barely 48 hours after Air Peace sacked 69 pilots due to ravaging COVID-19 pandemic, Bristol Helicopters has followed suit by laying off more than 100 pilots and engineers on its payroll. This is as the National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, the umbrella body of pilots and engineers in the industry, insisted that the alleged sack of the protesting members would not dissuade it from going on with the strike. Pilots and engineers of Bristol Helicopters have been on strike since Monday over purported poor condition of service and other demands. The helicopter company attributed the sack to the negative impact of the coronavirus has had on its operations. The federal government, through its Ministry of Information and Culture, has raised the fine for hate speech from 500,000 naira to 5 million naira. Minister of Information Haji Lai Mohammed made this known in Lagos at the official unveiling of the reviewed Broadcasting Code. Acting Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, says the decision to amend the Nigerian Broadcasting Code was taken to reposition the industry and to make it more responsive to emerging realities. And that's a news update for this hour.
Welcome to another High Spirit Flow with Big Harry. Today, basically, we'll be working on our ab muscles. The ab muscles we'll be working on is the side abs, which is our obliques. So I wouldn't want to feed you guys with much names. Just follow my routine and ensure that you are hitting the muscles correctly from the side. So basically, with this workout, we are starting with the Russian twist. So with the Russian twist, straight your legs out, okay? And you go. All right, make sure your legs are joined together and it doesn't touch the floor. So the distance between your leg and the floor is obvious for maximum execution. All right, and we go. Take your time. Okay, we're done with that one. We are moving over to our side crunches. All right, so we go. You touch, you touch, you touch, you touch, you touch, you touch, you touch. Okay, so all those asking, how do we build the side muscle? This is how you build it. You see me squeezing, you're attacking these very muscles at the side. Yeah, that's why you're squeezing. So you squeeze correctly. It doesn't look impossible, but I can assure you, Big Harry got you. So more times you have to stay tuned into the high spirit session. So I can show you or unveil to you more workouts you can use in achieving those great stomach walls. All right. So the next exercise is the single leg crunches, okay? Or what would I call it? Just ensure that your elbow is touching your knees. Okay, let's go. Yo! All right, that is it. So we move over to the side leg raises. This one, you make sure your hands are on the ground to balance you. Then you join your both legs and you raise. The regular leg raise goes like this. But this one for the obliques, you don't go straight down. You go to the side. All right? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Woo! I didn't say it's going to be easy, but then you just have to execute your workout conveniently at your own pace. So you take your time. All right. 2 more. That's 1. And that's 2. Okay. All right. So we are moving over to the mountain climbers. Okay. But this time the mountain climbers, you will need to modify it to ensure that your legs are going to the side. Okay. So you come up and you go. Take your time. All right, you can aim for this hand. All right. Woo! Enjoy your workout. Own it. Always ensure that you take your time to do your workout. All right, we're almost done. And here we have, okay, so we move over. Okay, so at the end of the day, you've got something like this. This is called stomach walls. So if you want to build these stomach walls, it all starts with progression. So we start with the basic oblique workout that I've showed you, basically to hit this part of the muscles. All right, so I would see you guys more times on the high spirit session to ensure that we all build our abs correctly. Thank you guys. See you same time next week.
Okay, all that exercise, it just makes me feel very hungry. And I'm sure it's the same for you. You see those biceps, you have to use food to build them now.
Sure enough.
Yes, the only idea is if you now start eating so much and you don't burn the fats, you're on your own. Okay, so you're welcome to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Chef Nathaniel of Natido Cuisine. Not only is he in charge in the kitchen today, it's also his birthday. So what's the birthday special this morning?
So today we're making Natido's plantain boats.
Natido's plantain boats.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this boat supposed to take us on a cruise? You know, birthday cruise?
Yes.
Is that the idea?
To the yacht. Just.
Okay, I will see how it will carry us.
Sure.
How many of us will it take?
2.
Let's talk about the ingredients.
So we have breadcrumbs.
Okay.
We have plantain.
Okay.
We have cinnamon.
Okay.
We have gizzard.
Okay.
Egg.
Okay.
Vegetable oil is a day.
Okay.
Then we have onions and bell peppers.
And then the fish.
Yes, smoked fish.
Smoked fish. Okay. So as it is, we have our ingredients ready. So let's get started. What's the first thing we're doing?
We're going to start with the plantain.
Okay.
So we're going to fry the plantain first.
Okay.
Because the reason why we're frying the plantain first is that we would fry it, then allow it to cool down.
Okay.
Then we'll now dip it in the egg.
Okay.
Then coat it with the breadcrumbs. Okay. Then fry it again.
Okay.
So it will be crunchy outside.
Crunchy outside. Wow, that's really nice.
So and you can, the reason why I'm even frying it so to have a nice flavor.
Wow, nice. Okay, so it's your birthday.
Yeah.
You're 25 years old
Sure.
today. We saw the cake. It had this big 25. Don't worry,
Yes.
you guys. You get to see the cake before the end of the show. So if you want to see what Chef Nathaniel's cake looks like, you want to make sure you keep watching Wake Up Nigeria today. So it has this really big 25, like I'm proudly 25. Do you know how long I waited for this 25 years of my life? And so yes, he's celebrating his birthday today. We are so happy, so glad to be celebrating Chef Nathaniel. And so while we go on with the cooking, he's preparing the boats that will take us on our cruise. You know, I'm hoping it to turn to a yacht because me, I'm scared of boats, but it's all right. We'll take this break. Of course, you know, Wake Up Nigeria is the show. Stay with us. You're welcome again. And of course, the cooking is still ongoing. Chef Nathaniel, the birthday boy, trying to prepare something really special for us. You know how it is on your birthday. You don't want to do any chore at all.
Exactly.
Not this case. Do you see it as a chore? It's what you love to do. See?
I can do anytime.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm not doing for plenty people that will stress me out.
Okay, so while we do the boats, I know I mentioned the fact that, 25, big year, it's your birthday and all. I also heard something about you launching new stuff.
Yes. So my online restaurant, Natido's Cuisine, I'm kicking off officially today.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's more like a birthday present for me.
Aww,
so
that is
all
so
these
cool.
dishes, all this breakfast that I've been cooking all the while, it's not available online, so you can
anybody can order
and get it.
Okay.
But those in Lagos only.
Those in Lagos for now. Okay, so how do we key into that? Okay, before we do that, let's, what are we going to do with the plantain?
So we're going to coat it with cinnamon.
Okay.
So give it a nice flavor.
Okay.
Then we'll now fry. So we're waiting for the oil to heat up. Once the oil heats up,
okay.
then we'll dip it.
I feel like I made you start using cinnamon for plantain. You know, I'm beginning to feel like an inventor right now. Because I was like...
Role model.
Because I remember the first time I mentioned using plantain, using cinnamon to fry plantain. Chef Nathaniel looked at me like...
Yes, at that point, it's only eggs I use cinnamon for. So as I said plantain, I was not like.
And then when you tried it, you were like,
jackpot.
So I dare say I should have shares in Chef Nathaniel's new company.
But you have to bring enough money, so I will take it global.
Calm down, I gave you an idea. Okay, so we're going to make several boats.
Yes, just
fry,
like
because I see the oil is heating up right now. Okay, so if you missed how to make the boats earlier, it's very simple. You see this part, we're still going to fry it.
Yes,
we'll use it to garnish.
Yeah.
So, okay, so
just the idea behind the boats is, you know, like boat or canoe. It has deep, and so that's just so all these vegetables, bell peppers, gizzard. We are going to shred it, and the fish. So we're going to put it. So it's more like human being inside the canoe.
You are on your own.
So that's just the whole idea.
I think the fun part of eating meals like this is the process of eating itself.
Yes.
Like you don't know whether you should carry it.
Either eat it like this or cut it.
Yeah, and then when you're in the presence of society and you're trying, like, what do I do with this thing? Most times you just say, could you pack it for me? Let me go eat it at home.
As in, yes, I know
where I can eat it the way I know how to eat it. But then, of course, you have to do it with some pizzazz, like, please help me pack it. Meanwhile, it's because you want to deal with the chicken or whatever it is that we put in front of you. Yeah. Okay, so plantain. I think our oil is heating up nicely.
Yeah, so we can just.
Yes, so we can put in the plantain. Yes, so that starts to fry.
So once the plantain has already fried, we would take it out, allow it to cool. Okay. Then we would fry the gizzard. Okay. Then after the gizzard, we'll now fry the vegetables. Okay.
So now I noticed the gizzard is seasoned. What did you put in it?
Just steak seasoning and garlic, onions, just to parboil it, and because gizzard takes time before it gets soft, and we don't have luxury of time, so I just did it at home. Okay. So
so it's not parboiled, and it's already been boiled.
It's just boiled, so we'll just fry it and shred it out. Then the oil we use from the frying it, we'll now use it to fry this.
The stir fry.
Yes, so just to have flavor, so it's not just be.
Wow, this is gizzard flavor.
Yes.
I've had different types of flavor. Today, I'm going to try gizzard flavored food.
It's nice.
Like, I've never really thought of gizzard as having flavor.
If you like gizzard, just once you use chicken to fry, the oil smells chicken. If you use fish, if you fry it with fish, so this one just you know that they've used it to fry gizzard.
Okay. So we'll keep up with our boats, preparing for our cruise, and of course, enjoying this very interesting meal by Chef Nathaniel, the birthday boy, the inventor, the launcher, everything. And talking about inventing and learning new things, I know we have a trick or two to learn from MM right now.
Yes, you do, Mary. Yes, you do. And trust that I'm always going to be here to be serving it hot, even hotter than our plantain that's cooking in the kitchen. All right, guys. So have you been throwing away your plastic bottles? If you have, I am commanding you to stop. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right. So there are so many ways you can repurpose your plastic bottles and recycle them. And I am super excited about today's hack, guys. And I'm going to show you a bit about it right now. All right. So basically, all you need to do to create this, like I have here, what do you think this is? This is actually an Ottoman footstool. Just in case you're wondering, what is an Ottoman? It's actually a form of couch that doesn't have a back or a rest. So you could actually make them bigger, you can make them smaller. It depends on how you want them and the size you want to work with. So what are the items I'm going to be using today? So first of all, I have my plastic bottles. Yes. My sticky tape and cardboard paper, but in this case, we call them carton in this part of the world. So I have my carton here, and I have my scissors and my glue and a throw pillow. I might or might not use it, but yeah. Anyways, and then I have an Ankara fabric because I love to work with Ankara. I mean, like, that's no surprise. Anyways, let's get to this DIY quickly. So what I've already done here, as you can see, is I have cut out a circular shape from my carton, like I have here. And what I actually used is I used like my pot cover. So I just, placed it on a cardboard paper and used my marker to map out, the area of the pot, of the cover of the pot, and then I cut it out. So what I've done here basically is just attached it to my plastic bottles, using a sellotape as well to hold it around. Well, that's because a lot of work has to be done, so you already know, how to make. I mean, it's very, very easy. So now let's get right into it quickly. Okay, then I have a stay here, and I have my a piece of sweater. I'm going to teach you how to make this, how to use this pretty quickly. But let's get right into it. So now, what I have done here, as you can see, on this cardboard paper, I've created a really tiny hole in the middle here. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take a bit of my glue, and so take a little of my glue. I have my brush, and I'm just going to place a bit of the glue on my paper. Okay, yeah, so this is actually stuck already. Just going to do that. So basically, this is just to help, firm up the placement of your cardboard paper on your plastic bottles. I'm going to do this quickly, and then I'm going to put it right on the plastic bottles. So to make it stay firmer, I'm going to revert to my sellotape or sticky tape. I don't want you to put it. So this is basically just to hold it firmly. So what I'm going to do here is hold it firmly, like I have here. And I'm going to, let me move that aside so you can see what I'm doing here. So this holds it firmly to the plastic bottles, and I'm going to cut off the sticky tape. And I'm going to do this again, wrap it around again. I'm trying to work with very little time here to create this. But while working with this, please allow your imaginations run wild, please. And it's really fun to make and very easy. So I'm just going to do this quickly. So we are sticking this to, okay, my tape is tangled at some point here. And I'm going to do this, right. So I'm just going to cut this out. So now that I am sure that the cardboard is firmly on the, is placed firmly on the plastic bottles, next up, I'm going to take my stay, get a little bit of glue, put this on top again, on top of the cardboard paper. So at this time, I'm going to turn it upside down. Yes, so I'm just going to do this quickly. I'm going to place the glue all around the cardboard paper. I hope you're paying attention, guys. It's not, it looks difficult, but really it's not. So this is basically just to stick my stay on nicely. So I'm going to do that, smoothing it out. Next up, take up a piece of my cardigan. It's a sweater. So basically what this does is just to give the footstool a little bit of weight by the side. So I'm just going to wrap this around. Yeah, I know you're working with a lot of items, but if you notice, these are items that you can find around your home. Like you don't even have to spend more naira. Yeah, so now that is done. Firming it up nicely. I'm going to tuck this in here. Now, the last phase of this project. I know it's a lot of work. And I can already hear someone say, wow, it's not ball. So I'm going to place this here just to create more, so that I have enough space to work with. I'm going to put this right here. And my throw pillow. So at this point, at this stage, you could actually put the throw pillow on or not. It actually depends on how you want your footstool to look. But in this case, I'm going to take it with the throw pillow. But if you're making a seat, then you can use the throw pillow. So at this point, I am going to place my Ankara on it. Yeah, so we are finally getting to the finished product, as you can see here. So remember that hole we put in the middle of the cardboard. So now I'm going to tuck this part of the fabric in nicely. So just tuck all of that in, so that you could actually, you could change the fabric whenever you want to any kind of fabric, anytime. So I'm just going to tuck this in. Tuck all of that into the hole. Yeah. So we're eventually getting there. Almost done. Very easy. And you can use any fabric at all. You don't have to pay a carpenter to make your footstools. You can make any one by yourself, just with plastic bottles, that's it. So yeah, we are basically wrapping this up. Aha! Ta-da! It's ready. So you can place your stool, anything on it, and it stays firmly. So you can see, gidigba. You don't have to worry about anything, right? All right. Okay, so that's it on our Ottoman footstool today, guys. Please, if you're trying this or if you're going to try it anytime, let me know. Send me a picture or video to all our social media platforms at TVC Connect. I'm waiting to hear from you. Thank you so much. Wake Up Nigeria still continues, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
It is time to go to Africa in 180 seconds. Today we're heading over to Zanzibar. Zanzibar is a semi-autonomous region of Tanzania. It is composed of the Zanzibar archipelago in the Indian Ocean, 25 to 50 kilometers off the coast of the mainland, and consists of many small islands and two large ones named Unguja and Pemba Island. Zanzibar is one of Africa's island paradises, and a holiday on the island wouldn't be complete without a dive in its waters. You'll enjoy the sight of healthy coral reefs and diverse species of marine life. Make sure to learn some Swahili, as that's the primary language of the island. When you walk around, you see the unique architecture of houses. The island consists of square mud houses with thatch roofs. You also enjoy the taste of the island as villagers sell a variety of fruits from ox-drawn carts. For a relaxed afternoon, you can take a walk on white sandy shores and enjoy a swim in the warm Indian Ocean. The island has earned the nickname the Green Island because of its lush beauty. You can also engage in activities like kite surfing, mountain biking, an excursion in the historical stone town and Prisoner Island, visiting Jozani Forest, scuba driving, and so many more. You can taste the world by trying delicacies like African ugali, Indian chapati, Swahili curries, and eat as much fresh seafood as humanly possible. So, when you get the time to take that special vacation, remember Zanzibar is there to accommodate you. That's it on 180 seconds travel. Till next time, keep seeing the world.
All right, okay, the cooking is going on. You know, you have to travel places, explore food. I love to try new things. I'm a big fan of food. Like when you talk about food, I'm a big fan of food, good food that is. And so it's such a pleasure to be in the kitchen today, exploring food as usual. Now, Chef Nathaniel, the birthday boy, well, he's still busy You can see the gizzard looking nice and crunchy. How did I miss not chewing this? And you, of course, there's the fish, the vegetables, the cinnamon, which has been well used.
Yeah.
And the plantain as well. And of course, more veggies here. Okay, so what next?
So we're going to stir fry these veggies.
Okay.
So we're using the oil that we used to fry.
The plantain?
No, the gizzard.
The gizzard, rather.
Yeah, so
okay.
as the flavor would enter. So I'm just waiting for it to eat up a bit.
I wonder how many people have tried gizzard flavored meals. This might be a good time to give it a try. Yeah. So, yeah, talking about your online ordering platform, because we know you to be the physical cook. Yes.
I'm now going to be the digital cook.
Exactly. The first time we had Chef Nathaniel, he's a very smart young man. He had his own, just, how do we describe that store? Like,
okay.
Yeah. It was like, we can call him a Meshai, you know?
Yeah. That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, so he used to like really cook stuff, interesting meals. Then he would bring this agege bread here and make some.
You still remember?
How can we know?
That was around Christmas period.
Yes.
December, 3 years ago.
Yeah, so he would bring this big agege bread and you could tell for sure
Mike
it was
really
breakfast.
loves agege bread.
Yeah?
I say Mike.
Mike, no, Mike has a thing for agege bread. It's been established in the Constitution.
He's an ambassador.
He's an ambassador. I'll tell him.
Please don't tell him.
What did you just put?
Some steak seasoning.
Some steak seasoning,
yeah,
okay.
So just to give it a little bit of flavor.
Okay. So the focus is actually here right now.
Yes.
Okay, so we are doing the stir fry. Onions, green pepper, all the bell peppers in there already. Are you not putting the...
Yeah, I'm going to put this. I don't want to cut it open a bit.
Okay. Oh, so you're just going to cut it open?
Yeah, just...
Not... Oh, okay.
So as to be able to, since the hole is not that big, just to cut it off.
Now, I'm just wondering, some people might think it's, you know, when we talk about online ordering, there's a complication of having to go to a website to order. So if someone wants to like, all these Chef Nathaniel meals, let's try it all. How do I get some of it?
So they can actually go to Instagram or Twitter at Natido Cuisine. So I think the name should be on the screen. So once you get there, there's a link on the profile. So once you just click it, it will redirect you to me and we'll communicate and I get it straight to your doorstep.
Okay, okay.
So if you're at the office or you're at home, just call me. Not actually call me, just go to the...
Just go to your social media.
And you get everything easy.
All right.
So this is going to be so flavorful. Yeah.
Okay, so we're still celebrating Chef Nathaniel's birthday.
It's my day. I'm the owner of the show today.
Yes, so we are giving
today.
him all the space because we don't know if he's going to break into a dance now. Next thing you see Mary holding her face because somebody hit her mistakenly. But it's all good. Let's get on with the cooking. So the stir fry, as you can see, it's ready. So all we have to do at the end of it is to just do all the mixings, right?
I'm going to fry just like stir fry too.
Okay.
Smoked
this is a dish of stir fries.
Yeah.
Okay, so first this stir fry, then you stir fry with the fish.
Then after that, then we're not going to fry it with the
breadcrumbs. I feel like I'm not the only one expecting this meal to be complete. We are just waiting because all this stir fry.
No, it is my dinner. Leave me alone.
Okay, well, take over. Take over. Do the stir fry as you wish.
Yeah.
Almost. So when you're through with that, you're going to put the fish in?
Yes, then after that, the plantain and that's it.
Okay, so are you putting the fish in all?
No, I'm going to open it up.
Okay, let me help you with that so you can open it up. So everyone can see you do it. Okay, so the fish goes in, it gets stir fried, and then of course we're using the breadcrumbs. I'm actually looking forward to the completion of this meal. Talk about birthday mood. Okay, we'll kick up, of course, we'll continue with the cooking. The second hour is over. A fantastic 1 hour just concluded. And we are about to start the next 45 minutes with something really fantastic. And you know what? We just need you to keep the dial locked. All right.
Well, it's been an amazing 2 hours on your favorite breakfast show. Feels good having such a great time while doing my job, actually. So I'm not complaining at all, loving it here. Blessed am I amongst women, by the way. Forgot to say at the start of today because Mike is not here.
Yeah, so how does it feel to be with all ladies today?
Fantastic. Yeah. Great. Absolutely.
Especially since it's World Breastfeeding Week. We'll get to that
later.
Here
we go again.
Yes, we hope you've been having as much fun as we've had in the last 2 hours. The next 45 minutes is all about you.
Absolutely.
And as usual, we have everything in check. My name is Lai Mohammed.
And of course, my name is Mazino Appeal. Remember, you have an option of streaming the show online at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
You can also join us on all our social media pages. You can send in your comments and contributions. We'd love to hear from you. Kindly use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
And of course, to watch all our exciting episodes from YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, TVC Entertainment, please.
And of course, on Fridays, we have someone special joining us on Wake Up Nigeria Extra at 2:30 p.m. via Instagram Live.
Yes, so it is World Breastfeeding Week.
Yes.
And we have to create more awareness on the topic and the importance of breastfeeding. It is actually very, very important. And the suitable lactation product with Titilayo Medunoye. So stay tuned.
And then finally, we'll be joined by R&B singer and actor, a former BB Naija housemate, no less, Somadina Anyama, for an interesting conversation. All right, fantastic. 3 hours, well, 2 hours.
2 hours,
just
third one.
By, and it just shows that, you know, when you're having fun, time can really fly. But
indeed.
Being Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the week, what is it?
Of the month.
Of the month.
I don't know how many Wednesdays
Of
you
the
have in
month.
your week, because
Sorry to wonder that.
that's a very long week. Please.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And having such, you know, terrible news yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
It feels like, you know, there's so much to be thankful for. We need to just make sure every single day we take a second to just be very, very thankful for what we have. People have already sent, like, someone sent a DM to me yesterday asking for financial assistance. And that thing happens every, is it like they plan it, like when it's end of the month?
It's payday.
Payday, they're like, oh, people will have money, and then they start sending those messages. I don't know. I'm just like, just be grateful you're alive, you know?
Grateful you're alive.
I don't.
No food to eat.
What? Say it again? What?
I said you're grateful you're alive with no food to eat.
Well, grateful you're alive.
I'm not saying that we don't have to be grateful. I'm just saying that in that person's
Yeah.
I'm trying to put myself in that person's shoes, reaching out to you and asking for assistance, so you can imagine what they're actually really going through, because a lot of people are actually going through a lot of things. I mean, look at as a particular airline that recently sacked over 100 pilots. Pilots.
Yeah.
What other job are they
if
going
I
to
was
find?
a single and I was listening to pilots,
Wow.
I am made for life.
But I'll tell you something.
The salary is an extension of my salary. We are both earning the salaries together. So you can imagine how much this pandemic has put a lot of people out of jobs. Unemployment keeps increasing. People are plunging into poverty every single day.
But that brings to the fore this very important bit here that aside from doing what you do, it's also very, very important that you are also able to do something craft-wise with your hands. Be like MM.
Yeah,
for instance.
Some DIY.
Yeah. No, seriously, because it's going to help you in these kinds of times.
The sad reality is not everybody is capable of doing certain things. You want to hone your skills, you want to hone your craft, but what if it's something that is probably, you know, they say there's no such thing as too flooded, but there is. That's the reality we have now. And I believe more rich people should set up poor houses. It's something I hope to do someday, set up a poor house where people who don't have food or they're going through a phase in their life, say between jobs and low on cash, can actually just walk in to get a meal, a hot meal.
Good one, Mary.
It's the least we can do.
But you know what we also could do in our education system? I think it has to be very important that we have a scheduled a curriculum where it's not just about the math, the English, the chemistry, and all of that. What about the vocational schools?
There are actually.
But we don't pay attention to it.
Yes.
That's the problem. And that's why we find ourselves in this situation right now.
Exactly. And then there is also the issue of funding. So it's one thing to go to a vocational school. It's another thing to be able to get the finances to start up, you know, this. So what's the essence at the end of the day?
The government has made that opportunity available. They are giving out loans to people who want to start big. That's sarcasm. It's so loud.
you know why the sarcasm is loud? It's not because the government isn't investing in so many things. The problem usually is what is eventually done with those funds. Okay, because you know somebody in the authority has done it.
We're going to turn this
into a political show, and we should leave that for you.
Speaking of what's happening in that space, we have to take the news update, and Ibrahim is standing by.
Thank you very much, Titi. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control in recent days has been reporting lower figures of COVID-19 cases across the country, indicating a downward trend. The NCDC reported 304 new cases of coronavirus overnight, same as Monday's figure. The country's total number of cases now stands at 44,433. Of the new cases, the Federal Capital Territory recorded the highest figure with 90 new cases, followed by Lagos with 59. Other states with high numbers include Ondo with 39, Taraba 18, Rivers 17. So far, 31,851 people have been discharged, while 910 people have died from COVID-19 related complications. At least 50 persons have been killed and about 2,700 others are wounded after a huge blast ripped through the Lebanese capital, Beirut. That's quite a massive explosion at the port area of the city, which released a shockwave which caused widespread damage to buildings, shattering windows. A possible second explosion was reported to be at the Hariri residence in the city. The cause of the blast is still unknown. It comes ahead of the verdict in a trial for the killing of former Prime Minister Rafik Hariri in 2005. The latest reports come amid political tension in Lebanon, with street demonstrations against the government handling the worst economic crisis since the 1975 to 1990 civil war. Lebanese Prime Minister Hassan Diab has declared Wednesday a day of national mourning, pledging that those responsible will be held accountable. But in its reaction, Israel says there is no reason not to believe that the blast in Beirut was an accident. Meanwhile, reports say hospitals are overwhelmed with the wounded and are calling on people to donate blood. Already, countries like France, United Kingdom and Iran are offering to send aid, while Saudi Arabia has offered its condolences to the nation. Barely 48 hours after Air Peace sacked 69 pilots due to the ravaging COVID-19 pandemic, Bristol Helicopters has followed suit by laying off more than 100 pilots and engineers on its payroll. This is as the National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, the umbrella body of the pilots and engineers in the industry, insisted that the alleged sack of the protesting members would not dissuade it from going on with the strike. Pilots and engineers of Bristol Helicopters have been on strike since Monday over purported poor condition of service and other demands. The helicopter company attributed the sack to the negative impact the coronavirus has had on its operations. And that does it today on the news update.
Welcome back. We're still on to Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, it's breastfeeding week. And we have Titi Lai Mohammed. She's the founder, CEO of Milky Express International, a company dedicated to the welfare of nursing moms in consultation of all things lactation, advisory on suitable lactation products and the production of lactation-enhancing goods. She's joined us today to talk about the importance of breastfeeding in the life of a mother and her child. Good morning, Miss Titi.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me, and happy World Breastfeeding Week.
Yes, we're glad to have you join us this morning. Okay, so now let's move over to, let's talk about the theme for this year's Breastfeeding Week, which is supporting breastfeeding for a healthier planet.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go right ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Okay,
loud and clear.
so quickly, let's talk about the theme, which is supporting breastfeeding for a healthier planet. How can you connect both breastfeeding and the environment, climate change? What's that about? Tell us about it quickly.
Okay, sure. I think quite a number of people have asked me about this, you know, because the theme for this year was not as straightforward as we usually have it to be. But what we are seeing now is that breastfeeding has a lot of role to play, or has a lot of impact in our everyday life. And even when it comes to, you know, the planet, like dealing with issues of, you know, sustainability or renewability, you know, of the planet. So when we consider breastfeeding and what it takes out of the healthcare system, manufacturing system, you know, it has a ripple effect on sustaining the planet. So that's really what they're talking about here. So the more mothers can breastfeed their babies, we have lesser issues with public health. You know, there are fewer resources in the hospitals or health services. There's, you know, and because there are fewer resources on things that would have to be used to treat issues that result as a factor of that result rather from not breastfeeding, if you understand what I mean. So because of these issues, there's a ripple effect. So imagine that babies who don't breastfeed fall ill more easily. So when the baby falls ill, what are the things that we have to use to help the baby feel better? What are the things that go into the manufacturing process to help the baby feel better? You know, so all of these things are things that we consider, and even on the mother's side, so the benefit that breastfeeding will offer to the mother as well, as against her not breastfeeding and the you know, possibly getting, for example, breast cancer and then treating that. So all of the effects of not breastfeeding has, you know, an effect, a negative effect on the planet. So that's what we mean by that.
All right, fantastic. Now let's break it down to our women who are watching right now. The essential nutrients that's contained in the breast milk that is very essential for a baby's well-being. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
so really, breast milk contains every single thing that a baby needs to stay alive, and, you know, to keep alive for the first couple of months in their life, right? And I think that one of the first and most important things that I would like to properly speak on in terms of the benefits of breastfeeding, like nutrition related, I think I would say it serves as a major immune booster for your baby. So when babies are born, babies don't have that kind of immunity that we have. So taking breast milk for the first couple, and these are one of the reasons why the World Health Organization would say that you should breastfeed exclusively for 6 months,
6
right?
months, yeah.
Exactly, because, and at this point, breastfeeding has, breast milk rather, has the component that properly protects your baby from illness. It helps to boost the baby's immune system. You know, so it has quite a lot of nutrients. We're talking about vitamins, we're talking about minerals. There's a long list, you know. We're talking about immune boosting factors. So yeah, there's a long list of the things that breastfeeding can do for your baby that you really cannot get from, you know, formula.
Okay, now I'm going to, this is very, very personal to me, because I remember I have a 10-month-old baby, and she stopped breastfeeding when she was 4 months. And I know of friends who actually had similar instances. In that kind of situation, what do you advise?
So usually, in that kind of situation, I would ask more questions, right, to see what has changed in the mom's pattern. So usually, when a baby stops breastfeeding or has a period of breast refusal, there are a couple of things that could have caused it. One, a mother's diet could have changed. The baby's schedule could have changed. You know, it could be that maybe mom has gone back to work, things are changing, and the baby has to also adjust themselves to meet that new demand. You know, for us, we may feel like, oh, okay, I mean, it's a normal thing. I've been at home for 3 months and now it's time to go back to work. and you just go back to work one day and you're gone for hours. So doing that to a baby is kind of like a shock. Like, I haven't seen this person for like almost 8 hours. What is going on?
Okay.
So having a plan to always ease a baby into these changes is always the best way to go. So having asked these questions, what has changed in your schedule? What has changed in your feeding patterns? What has changed in your baby's meals? Also, you may be, have started including other foods for your baby, and the baby now seems to prefer a different texture of food, which is not a problem, but we just want to advise that even if you include other foods for your baby, still continue to offer breast milk as a side meal or as a substitute, while still, offering other food. So a lot of factors could cause, and it may not be a permanent thing, The baby may also be feeling ill.
Okay.
We find that babies who get a cold or who have, infected tonsils don't want to breastfeed, and not just breastfeed, but they don't want to eat as much, because the process of breastfeeding and arranging their suck and swallow, will be discomforting, will be uncomfortable to them. Okay. So you find that babies will generally have will not want to eat as such, not just breast milk, but yeah, so questions will be asked to really see what caused this and then determine how we can move forward from that.
Okay, now let's talk about being an advocate for breastfeeding. Yes. What methods are you and maybe some other advocates, putting in place to make sure, to insist that, more time is given to new mothers, like maybe extending the maternity leave to maybe 6 months, so that during that period, the baby has sufficient breast milk, to aid the development of the child?
Well, to be honest with you, that process hasn't been easy, because obviously that has to do with working with policymakers to see how they can influence or make or change policies that further benefits a breastfeeding mother and a newborn, right? So that process has not been easier. Having the chance to be able to get meetings, to be able to speak with the right person, the bureaucracies of all of that has not been easy. But however, what has been easier for us is getting directly to the mothers, right? So we are always able to, apart from, talking to mothers via social media, which is what we do a lot. Okay. We also go in general hospitals, healthcare centers, partner with the nurse there, give free healthcare talks and give free breastfeeding advice, and just continue to encourage moms about breastfeeding. And something else that we always do is always to dispel the myths around breastfeeding. So we find that a lot of people get their breastfeeding advice from their mothers, their grandmothers, their aunts. And whether we like it or not, there has been so much more research, that much pushes away a lot of these things that have been passed down from generations. Okay. So you find that mothers are saying things like, oh, because I haven't breastfed my baby for 24 hours, it means that my breast milk has gone bad and I cannot breastfeed. And these are things that she has been told. So you find that a lot of the problems that we also have when we look at breastfeeding rates in Nigeria is because, one, we don't have professionals who are educated, clinically educated, with up-to-date breastfeeding practices available to really teach mothers what to expect and what to do while breastfeeding. And we also have not been able to fully push aside all of the myths that have been passed down from many generations and that mothers still believe happen. And I tell you, the things that I hear, it's amazing. It's amazing. I hear mothers talk about the fact that they had to stop breastfeeding early because their partner wanted to get intimate with them.
Yes.
And they have been told that you cannot be intimate with your partner and breastfeed because I'm not going to go into all of that details, but yes, we hear a lot of things that are pretty much, ridiculous and outdated that some mothers still believe. So yeah, those are the kind of things that we have.
Okay, so talking about myths, finally, the pandemic is, with us right now, and how does, well, there's also that, saying that if a mother has COVID-19, she could also pass that to her newborn. Is that true?
So if a mother has COVID-19, she could also pass it on to her newborn, simply as if anybody had COVID-19, they could pass it on to anybody around them. Okay. So, I mean, it's an infection, it's a virus that can be, caught by anybody, whether you're a mother, a grandmother, a father, a boy, a girl, anyone who has had contact with anyone who has, COVID-19 or has been exposed to the virus is possible that the person can contact it. Yes, definitely.
Oh, okay. But the breast milk is actually supposed to prevent infections, prevent the baby from getting infections. So one would think that, the breast milk is, strong enough to fight the virus.
Yes, absolutely. So here's the thing. Sometime in March, when the lockdown started, and it seemed like we were more like in the midst or in the heat of COVID, not to say that we no longer are, but the World Health Organization now began to push out information that encouraged breastfeeding mothers to continue to breastfeed, even if they have COVID.
Even if they have the COVID, great.
Even if they have
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Medoye, for enlightening us on the need for breast milk. It's important, and I really hope that a lot of women listening right now, a lot of mothers listening right now and watching have learned so many things from this conversation. Have a great week ahead. Thank you so much. All right, and that's it on this discussion. Next up, we have an interesting guest, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Now, Somadina Anyama is a Nigerian singer, popularly known by his stage name, Soma. Now, he's best known for his single, Liquor. This young talent is also an actor and former BB Naija housemate. Yeah.
Now, Somadina has joined us this morning, and he is about to tell us more about his amazing journey in the entertainment space. So, hey, hi, Soma. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you on the show here today. So, we're going to talk plenty about your endeavors since after that international exposure that you got, and quite an exposure it was. But tell us exactly how that has affected everything from after BB Naija.
The exposure has done a lot for me in my career, basically. Apart from putting me out there, the fact is that's put me out there, basically, and giving me a lot more opportunities than I would normally have had in the time or short period I studied entertainment. It's done a lot for me, actually. It's got me new friends. There are so many people that love me right now. There's so much love, and it's been good for me all around.
When exactly did you start in the entertainment space? Was it just after that exposure, or was it long before? Because I hear that you've been in entertainment from before that. Is this true?
Yes.
Okay, how long ago?
Before I went into the house, I was doing music and I was modeling. I was modeling and I was doing music,
Okay.
All right, so let's talk a bit about your music. What do you feel inspires your music? Where do you get your inspiration from? Because I noticed on social media, you have a very unique style, but it feels like you have some mentors in that industry as well. Talk to us about your music.
Well, first off, my first mentor will always be my mom, because she actually pushed me into doing music. My mom is a singer, and I've always known music all my life. I literally grew up in a house of music, so that had actually shaped me to the person I am today. And most of my music are inspired by things happening around me, life, things I go through, things I experience, things I see people experience, Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
Of course, I'm influenced by other African artists and Western artists, so just fuse everything.
Okay. What about your acting? Who influences your acting, and how far are you going to take that? We saw the clip that was played from before. Would you categorize yourself as a comedic actor, or are you looking to go the way of James Bond someday or something like that, or our own Ramsey Noah or something like that? So where's that going to go?
The thing is, I am more popular from my comedic acting, because I'm on the series Mercedes and Jennifer's Diaries. But then I've done other serious roles, and it doesn't have to do with comedy, like MTV Sugar. I have a couple, season 3 and 4, yeah. I'm an all-round actor.
Should we call it success to a lot of different things? What do you think has majorly made you successful at what you're doing?
The fact that I don't give up, no matter how hard it is. I have family and friends that constantly encourage me and remind me of who I am and my potentials. Sometimes you could be in a situation and you forget that you're worth more than what you feel at that point, and you just need good people around you, good family, good friends that keep on reminding you that, yo, bro, you are a whole lot more than this. Do stop, keep pushing, keep doing it. So I have friends like that, I have family like that. And of course, God, sometimes I'm like, God, what's up? What's next? And he just tells me to keep going, and that's all I need. That's all I need.
Great stuff. So, Ma, this will be my last question for you. I'm going to make it a big one. Okay. So, we've seen the Nigerian movie space move from what it was. Some people like to categorize it as old Nollywood and then new Nollywood. You have such great movies as the current Living in Bondage. I don't know if you've seen that one. Yeah. Shot with such great sceneries and cinematography and all of that. And then we've seen our Nigerian movies move from being shown on CDs to theaters, and now it's going to Netflix and all of that. So my question is, how does this affect you, the individual actor, as a person now? Is this a good thing? Is it a good transition for Nigerian movies and for you?
Yes, definitely is a good transition for Nigerian movies. It's a good transition for the industry, basically. We are one of the largest markets when it comes to the entertainment industry, movies in particular. And it's huge. It's a huge leap for us, being on Netflix, all these streaming platforms. It's a huge leap for us. Our production is getting better. Personally, as an actor, it's good for me because now a lot of actors get like meager figures when they get paid, but like I feel like we have gotten to that point that actors are being rated properly, they're being treated the way they're meant to be treated. Yeah, so it's a beneficial thing to everybody, to be the actors, the producers, the directors, everybody. Everybody. It's easier for you to showcase your work to the world now.
So Ma, it's really been a pleasure talking to you. And we're watching and looking out for you and rooting for you all the time right here at home in Nigeria. Now, you need to make sure you come visit us as soon as this whole COVID thing is over. Yeah. And next time you'll be the one invited to the kitchen. Don't worry, just stay tuned and watch the show while we show you what you could have been eating today if you were in the studio with us.
Also, try for James Bond. All right, try for that. You'll make a very good one.
All right then. Yeah, he has that look. He has that look, that action hero look.
I think he'll get there.
He will, eventually.
But you have to make that transition from comedy to like real serious stuff.
Transition you're making. Me, I want to make transition to that kitchen. I don't know.
The best part, isn't it?
Transition.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Once again.
Thank you.
Well.
Chef Nathaniel.
Birthday boy.
Yes,
Chef Nathaniel of Natido Cuisine has
made this plantain boat. And as you can see, Natido's plantain boat looks really, really exciting.
Always.
Wouldn't it be such a twist if we made the birthday boy try the food himself?
Right.
Yeah, like you finish it.
You finish it.
But then we also have your cake here.
Yes, sir. Happy birthday.
So this is taking center stage. So let's wish you a happy birthday as you cut it off. I think we should spell Natido.
Natido.
Yeah. Hello, for he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us. Hooray!
I really like his character, this guy.
So let's spell N-A-T-I-D-O. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Chef Nathaniel.
Thank you.
And
I like your dance.
Yeah, I have to give a big shout out to your mom. I can still remember one of the first times you came on the show. Your mom was here, and she's, you know, she's
very
always
supportive.
been so supportive of you.
Yeah.
And it's been great. I think she's around. Your mom is around. Yeah, mommy is here. Brothers are here as well. All here to celebrate him.
They've got the balloons and everything.
Is that time? Is it time for us to see the balloons? Oh. Okay. Bring balloons.
Bring them over.
Run.
Is mommy coming on?
Mommy coming. Woo!
So this is my mom.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So it's all about 25.
25.
Which one do I have? I should have 2.
Is
but
that
you should have
it? It's
5.
upside down.
Okay, so he's not 52 yet. See this?
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, now we got it.
5.
Yes.
Yay, happy birthday.
Thank you.
What about the food, though?
Oh,
Yeah.
Taste the food.
So he's gonna try it. This is birthday.
Mommy should.
Mommy should. Yes.
Let's get her
Yeah.
some
Mommy's
cutlery
gonna
and
taste the
stuff.
food. No, she's gonna eat it like a boat.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Like a boat.
He told me there is no use for cutlery
So,
here.
for me, to my mom, for my birthday.
Wow, this is so cool. Nice. Oh, well.
All right then.
birthday.
Thank you so much for being a part of the Wake Up Nigeria family. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone at home. We appreciate you, and we know we're going to be back here again tomorrow from 6 a.m. People.
Bright and early.
Bye.